And we are back again. So obviously I just did a part two, like literally back to back, because I figured they're two separate videos, and they are two separate videos, and we're gonna do it like that. They are indeed two separate videos. That being said, if you've never had a Lindor truffle, I highly advise you to try them. They have these great, like, Lindor truffle like bars. Smoothest chocolate in the game, I promise you. Smoothest chocolate in the game. So good. This is not an advertisement. I just really like chocolate. To be more specific, I like good chocolate. I don't mess with Hershey's. Hershey's is like plastic or rubber. I don't know. That shit makes me feel bad. It has a weird taste. It's kind of like the episode of SpongeBob where like he's like eating it and like. Anyway, not the point. The point of this one is we're looking at why the Futurama is the greatest show ever, because Futurama is great. I'm glad they brought it back for the fourth time now. Praise you, Hulu, for reviving Futurama. Now, I'm going to start this one. I've watched Futurama like 8 times. It is a wonderful show that has been canceled. Well, I think it's been canceled 3 times, and then they officially ended it on their own terms. Now they're back again. Praise be Hulu. So, Futurama, first of all, is a show that you can just like watch in the background. You can focus on watching it, or not even care. It's just a great show. And not many shows like this exist. And yeah, you might be thinking of shows that have gone on for a long time, like Futurama, Simpsons, or Family Guy. But to me, those ain't shit. Wait, did I say Futurama? I did say. Take that one back. I'm talking about Futurama. Like Simpsons and Family Guy, even South Park. Honorable mention. Well, actually, it's not an honorable mention. It's just a good mention. But I'm throwing Rick and Morty, wonderful show. But I'm not putting it in that list with Family Guy and Simpsons. Now, I had this discussion and breaking down to somebody, again, why Futurama is a wonderful show and why they should watch it. So, thing one, I'm going to start off with its revival. The revival episode on Hulu was a complete masterpiece. I have never seen anything done to the level of which it was executed. So, there are 4 things that Hulu's revival did and showed us, okay? The first thing is that in watching the episode, now, mind you, I had heard about the reboot coming up, and I had already restarted watching Futurama again because I needed something to watch, and I was like, shoot, I'll just rewatch it, and then by the time I finished watching it, hey, it'll start up again. Well, that didn't happen. I got busy, didn't get to finish watching it. I'm still rewatching it anyway. But then I skipped ahead to the new episode because I just wanted to see it. I couldn't wait. I had to see it. So, I'm watching the first episode of the reboot, which is like season 12 or 10. A lot of seasons, anyway. And upon starting, it just felt natural. So, here's the first thing that Futurama did in their reboot. They resumed where they left off. Now, by that, I mean, in their last episode, they legit made a legitimate ending of the show. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually them ending the show. He was done. I guess the contract was up. I don't know how this all goes, but it was like their legitimate last episode, and it ended like that. And I'm just like, it was a beautiful episode. If you haven't watched Futurama, definitely watch it. It was a wonderful episode, and yeah, it definitely gave, I think, all of his fans like a happy ending. It's like, damn, Futurama's done with, but I'm okay with this ending. Sometimes shows end and you're just like, that a cliffhanger, or there's no way this is over, or like it got better and then it ended, that kind of deal. Nah, Futurama had a long run. They did great. They did what they had to do, and then it ended. But it gave us such an ending that you're just like, you want to watch it again, kind of deal. Like, it makes you want to watch it again, but you're also okay with not watching it again. Like, you felt like you stuck with Futurama for a long time, and you're just like, I can tell they parted. Like, they parted ways. I'm okay with that. Okay? So that's thing one. They resumed where they left off. and it was incredible to see how they did it. Granted, it's a sci-fi fantasy cartoon, obviously, so it's like they can do anything they want to make things happen. But it wasn't like some bizarre "Hey, we're back." It was like they continued the story of how they ended with a twist to bring it back into reality. I'm just like, holy shit! Would have never thought about that. That's some mind-bending shit, and I fucking loved it. So that's thing one. That's the revival. No spoilers. I won't do that to you. I want you to watch it. Okay. Thing two. They then, in the same episode of after reviving it, kept it running as if it like never happened. And mind you, this is a 30-minute show. Okay, so they came back, and then they made a whole new episode like they always have done in the past of like their old ways, and it just felt so natural. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself like, wait, is this a new episode? Is this like an hour-long special? Did I miss something? Like, I'm legit confused now. I'm like, it's something that you would think would take a long time to bring back, but they just back, and then went right into like the next episode or the new season, and I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. So that's the thing too. It still had that originality, okay? Which I guess also is kind of totally the same for my third one, is that it has its classic originality as far as like the humor, the animation, the style, the characters, the screenplay. Everything felt so natural after being gone for so long. Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't know when the last episode aired. Let me see if I can try Googling it. Let's see here. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was definitely August. No, Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this is just a quick Google search. It could be completely wrong. I could be off, but it's probably still very much accurate. If I'm not mistaken, their last episode was September 4th, 2013. That is not even damn near. That was actually over 10 years ago. Actually, no, just under 10 years ago. So, wow, that's crazy. After fucking 10 years, after 10 years of ending the show, they came back as if they never ended. It's the same humor, style, playwright, and everything else. And you're just like, it's been 10 years, and this shit feels natural as all can be. Which, that just shows you how much of a great writer the fucking creator is. Like, he clearly cared about the show so much he wanted to keep it original. Like, some people bring things back and then it's like not the same, and you're kind of like hurt that they brought it back. Like, you're happy they did it for fans' sake, then you're just like, there's some lost translation, you know what I'm saying? But after 10 years, it's still the fucking same, which really blew my mind. Because when they said reboot, I'm thinking to myself like, oh great, another reboot. It might be kind of ass. Like, it might not be good. Might not feel the same. I don't know. But I gave it a shot. And I think deep down, I knew it was going to be original. Because I'm like, they've been canceled 3 times. And I'm just like, it for no reason, quite frankly, to me. Like, I didn't do enough research to see why it got canceled. I looked it up once a few years ago. I'm just like, that's wild. But they came back as if nothing happened, as if he's a fresh writer that just got a new deal. Well, I guess he probably did. But that's amazing. And I think I knew that he probably wouldn't have came back to continue writing the show if he knew he couldn't do it like in the right manner. Which is like, it makes me think, like, did he just continue writing this? Like, did he just continue this ongoing and had an idea that maybe they're going to come back? Because if so, I love you. Big brain, my guy. Big brain. So that's the third thing that Futurama did right in its revival. And the fourth one is something that all the fans will definitely catch. And if you start watching it from the very beginning and get to that episode, you will definitely see every Easter egg ever in that show. That first episode is riddled with Easter eggs, and most of them they just throw in your face. Like, yeah, like right in your face, they're just gonna just target you and say, yeah, this is exactly what happened, the shit's wrong and we're back. And some of them are like little things you'll pick up on, and you're just like, did he just say what I think he just said? Or did he just reference what I think he just referenced? Like, yes, he did. He really just did that. He brought it back. There are so many Easter eggs, and the funny thing about the Easter eggs is most of them are about them being canceled. They're like, yeah, we've been canceled, we're back again. And then they made jokes about how like shows should be canceled more often to give viewers a break and then come back. Because no show has done that. I can't think of many that have done that as much as Futurama has. Futurama has been through some shit. Look it up. They've been, I guess, just watch, honestly, just watch the first episode of the new season. Like, they've been canceled a fucking bajillion times and came back every time stronger than ever. They legit were not really insulting, but they're cracking jokes at like viewers that like to binge watch things. Of course, Hulu's making them release it on a weekly basis. Now we have to wait each week for a new episode. And funny enough, the first episode, half spoiler, is real about streaming and binging things. So it's kind of like I'm watching an episode about binging while also being scolded and like preached to about binging things, as they're also teasing the fact that I can't binge out the new season because they're releasing it by the week. And I'm just like, bro, oh my god. Like, Futurama is just heaven of a show. Now, I've covered the great things Futurama has done. I'm not going to cover the bad things that they've done because I can't think of any. But the next part of this is, again, I mentioned those 3-4 shows. So we're going to break down those ones in half tenths and then bring up to, again, why Futurama reigns supreme. So the first one I think I mentioned was Family Guy. Family Guy, everybody watches Family Guy. I don't really care for Family Guy that much. It's kind of fun to watch here and there. It is not a binge-worthy show. You can't binge it. If you do, you'll just feel sick to your stomach. It's just like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, it's getting repetitive. Futurama is binge-worthy because, again, it follows the sitcom algorithm and ensemble. And again, like I mentioned about The Office, it digs deep into characters, like histories and past and shit, to give you more development of them, because it's a sci-fi land in the future, and it's like, what the fuck is this? So you get character development, but you also get these odd scenarios with some fantasy concepts, and it's just like, it's so exponentially open to anything that it has no limits and it has no bounds. And they also reference, just like Office, and I don't think I mentioned this in my Office video, but The Office, again, sitcom, each episode resets for something new, that way the past doesn't affect it, but they do remember things. They do reference the past in The Office, like some of their old episodes, like if something happened to somebody a few episodes later, they might reference it. Like, they remember things, but like if they blow up The Office, for example, The Office doesn't say blown up, that kind of deal. So yeah, Futurama's an ensemble sitcom, right? You got your characters, you got your crew, and they just go out and do wild and crazy shit in Fantasyland. I've been saying the word Fantasyland a lot, and quite frankly, I'm not wrong because it's not a real place, but it's Fantasyland. So that's something that Family Guy can't do. You can't binge Family Guy because the humor that it uses is, one, kind of dark and crude and uneasy for some people, and also it gets kind of played out and it's kind of like, what is this, you know? It's like kind of cringe. And like Family Guy's algorithm for the most part is more or less just like, hey, we're going to say something or do something and then do a flashback and then rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It gets very played out. Futurama doesn't do that. Futurama is just like original. Just like, hey, here's an episode, here it goes. There might be like a reference or a flashback to something or a memory, but it's not such a repetitive like structure that they thrive on, like Family Guy. I think Family Guy is a good show to watch here and there, and maybe watch a few episodes at a time, but it is not binge-worthy like Futurama is, and it's kind of annoying to watch after a long ass time. I can't do it. Next up, you have Simpsons. I don't watch a whole lot of Simpsons. I kind of know its algorithm. It's kind of Family Guy-ish, but they also follow more of a different algorithm of their own. And again, to be fair, these are long-standing shows. It's kind of hard to write something for so long. Gotta give them credit. But like, Simpsons is like different. They more or less follow like the family, and of course you have like the family's lives, or each person in the family, the neighbors, the community. So it has a community that you look at, and you dive into each person's stories and shit like that. It does have some random things going on, which is kind of cool. I think the art style for me is just kind of eh. But I can't say much about The Simpsons because I haven't really watched a whole lot of it. But I get that it's more of like a family-oriented, community-oriented type of, not really story, but like life-driven thing, and it can teach you some shit. I don't know, but Simpsons, you can kind of binge it. I wouldn't bother, but again, it's like Family Guy. It's a good show to just kind of turn on here and there. That's about it. And then I think I said South Park. I don't watch South Park. Don't really care about it. I've seen a few episodes of it. It's kind of funny, kind of dark. It's like whatever. It's alright. But Futurama just trumps all of those, hands down. Futurama just trumps it all. That's all there is to it. And that's really all I have to say about that. Oh, the last one, my honorable mention. So Rick and Morty, because somebody had brought this one up. They're like, oh, is it like Rick and Morty? I'm like, well, yes and no, but more no than yes. So the difference is here. The difference is here is Rick and Morty does have a story. Okay? Rick and Morty does follow a story, but it covers it up with, again, the random sitcom kind of like themes. So you get these random experiences and adventures and this sci-fi fantasy, and it's super cool. Don't get me wrong, I love Rick and Morty, huge fan. And I'm not saying that it's the worst than Futurama. I'm not saying it's better than Futurama. I think they're kind of both the same. I'm just saying, like, on plain surfaces, the differences between them is you do get the story with Rick and Morty, and you do get like the sense of like I don't have to worry about anything, and it's just like a show I can watch and relax to. But it also does hide and sometimes blatantly throw them out at you like the message they're trying to get across. So it does have messages, it does have a story, but it also keeps things like lively and random in like a cover-up way. I'm not gonna dive into Rick and Morty because that shit blows my brain. It's just wild. I love it. But that's how they're different. One follows a story and like drives things at you without you noticing it, and then you're just like, damn. Like in a sense, it's kind of like The Office, but in a better way. Like it'll throw some messages and themes at you, and you're just kind of like, whoa, that shit touched me. I didn't even fucking realize it. But then you can also just sit back and enjoy it and not worry about that. Like, those writers are smart. Those are some big brain ass writers, bro. Like, S tier. So, yeah. And like I said, with Futurama, it's more like the sitcom randomness doesn't really have anything for it. It's just like, I don't know. You just watch it. You just watch it and you just enjoy it. It's funny. Not even trying to be. I guess maybe it does try to be, but it's just a good show. It's funny. It's good to watch. It's lighthearted. I don't know. It's just that's my take on Futurama and why I love it. And now you also get slight insight to how I see and how I can understand Rick and Morty and how they're different. So I think they're both great watches, both bingeable too, for sure, and both, in my opinion, definitely better than Family Guy and or The Simpsons. So there's that. Yeah, and that's all I have for that video. But now I have to go back and actually add on another section to my Office video. So if you happen to watch this one first, you'll realize I just slapped in another section on there. But hey, Easter eggs, now you know. Boop.